Hello and welcome back to the dungeon. Today I'm doing a little bit of a channel update. Uh, give everyone a little bit of a progress report on what's going on with the channel while I make these prefab buildings that I did with foam core into this. So first things first, I am going to be starting working on some of the lore for the game and doing some lore videos. So I am I'm going to learn some video editing software, which is fun. I do plan on trying to stream stuff like what I'm doing right now, the building terrain, stuff like that, painting minis. Maybe eventually streaming actual gameplay. But that also requires a whole nother learning a whole nother set of programs to do. But I'm getting there. I'm reading up. I'm playing around with it. So hopefully I can get my stuff together and start that. So the next thing, I am almost finished with this modular ruin terrain that I've been building, and my next step will be starting up the more urban terrain, like buildings, houses, like business stuff, kind of like a urban, kind of semi-industrial, commercial, so I can do a mix and match on board layout. What else? I've still got a couple more videos I gotta do on the rules. I've kind of let it go on the back burner, but I've got a video I'm working on for the expanded rules for like the extra movement stuff that I didn't explain in the turn sequence video. I just gave a basic overview, but then there's some additional rules for moving through terrain and such. So I'm making a video. I will be making a video about that. And I'm still working on more rules. Eventually, I will get to finishing off the fantasy version of the rules. So I'll have both a futuristic with guns and jetpacks and stuff like that, but I will also have a fantasy version of the same rule set, so I can do wizards and knights and sword and sorcery type combat as well. Also, definitely when I'm starting to formulate an idea of how I'm going to set up the filming and the way it's edited for the actual gameplay videos. That should be fun. But like I said, that's another set of programs that I'm like slowly learning and fiddling around with, and I'm not ready to put it up on the channel quite yet. Yeah, and that's that. So yeah, just a quick update. The next video should be the advanced movement rules or the supplementary movement rules for the game, um, and I'll be working on that one either today or tomorrow, and then finishing up this kind of terrain, and maybe going a little bit more in depth. I'm how the techniques I've been using, and how also I like different materials. Like this foam core is actually, in certain ways, it's really easy to use because it glues together well. Once it glues, it holds together. It's a little bit harder to cut than something like cardboard, but you also get the ability to shave the sides down and shape it. If you can see the corners, how they're cut and shaved down and not just a straight edge, which is what happens when you try and do the same effect with cardboard. You end up either having to fray it, or it just doesn't quite look as good because you can't shape it. So it's harder to make cardboard look like concrete or that kind of building material, at least in my opinion, than it is for this foam core stuff, which I'm actually really starting to get into using. So probably when I start using when I start making the buildings for the modular urban stuff, I will probably make some buildings almost exclusively out of foam core, just basically like this, but with an actual roof and everything's closed up. That's one thing. These when you're cutting through, you got to make sure you have a really sharp blade, I've noticed with this stuff, because if you don't cut all the way through perfectly the first time, this outside laminate coating stuff that they put on the foam peels, because it's just like, basically I think it's just like a plastic vinyl or something like that they layer over the top of this stuff. Although if I'm wrong about the material, you can let me know in the comments section. I know some people would tell you to cut out the windows and stuff before you glue all the walls together, but I find that I like having the extra rigidity that having the pieces already glued together gives you when you're cutting through this stuff. Same thing with cardboard. I like to glue it together before I start really cutting stuff out. For me, it just helps me visualize what I'm building as I'm putting it together, and then taking the pieces out that need to be taken out. And you try and use up as much of it as I can too. These pieces, like this, end up getting made into rubble scatter terrain that can just be placed anywhere on the table. And they also get cut up into chunks so they can be used to glue to bigger pieces to add a little bit more texture and depth to the model, or the piece of terrain, or whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. Go ahead and tell me what you think in the comment section, and have a good day.